So I teach a debt payoff strategy, and I believe the original name of that debt payoff strategy is actually forbidden for me to say. And the reason I say that is that the state of Illinois went after another YouTuber with a cease and desist for using the original name. They said, hey, if you use the original name, people could get confused that you're a bank. And so I call it something else. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn what may be forbidden debt payoff secrets, and we call it the velocity method. So that's what we're going to do today: pay off debt using this method. And so let's just go over the average American banking scenario. So you get paid, you pay your bills, right? So you see all of these credit cards, auto loan, monthly expenses, and then you have absolutely nothing left over. And so what we're trying to show with, hey, even the same income and the same bills, if we redirect the flow of money, we can pretty much have a much better situation or outcome, or maybe possible that could happen. The only thing we need is something called a line of credit. And so the only real difference between the left side and the right side is really the final destination of our money. So in the average American banking paradigm, the final destination of our money is our checking and savings account, right? And in the velocity method, it's something called a line of credit. And the way that we think about the checking and savings is that it is a temporary place to hold money. It is not the final destination. And so, where is the final destination of our money? It is a line of credit. And so, for the purposes of this example, we're going to assume we have a $200,000 8% home equity line of credit. And this is where we're going to strategically move debt. And not only that, we're going to put all of our income into the line of credit once it hits our checking account. And then once we have bills to pay, then that's when we take out money from the line of credit. So, how do we know which debts to move into the line of credit? Well, it's relatively easy. So, the first criteria, or the main criteria that we use, is something called the cash flow index. And it's a relatively simple formula where we get the balance of the debt and divide it by the monthly payment. So 5,000 divided by 175. And this is basically a debt ranking system, right? So what you do is you just kind of sort from smallest to largest, and then you take the ones usually below 50 and then move them into the line of credit. Now, what does a cash flow index mean? Well, it means basically how much bang you get for your buck for paying off that debt in terms of cash flow. So in this example, we don't have a 30-year mortgage, but usually if you ever see a 30-year mortgage, it becomes a really big number and means that if you have to pay a lot of money for itty bitty amount of cash flow. So what we're going to do is take these credit cards, and I believe this is $164,000 of credit cards. So let me just quickly check. Yep, it's $164,000 of credit cards, and then move it into the line of credit. Okay. And so, what happens by simply moving that debt into the line of credit? Well, all of these payments just simply go to zero, right? So, these are 10 credit cards, they go to zero. And now magically, we have $5,160.71 of cash flow. So, I don't know about you, but this does feel like a forbidden secret, even if I can't say the name. I'm not saying they're going to ban, teaching people how to do this in Excel, but it does feel like a forbidden secret because we're literally kind of almost doing financial alchemy, going from $0 to $5,160.71. It feels like clickbait, but it's not. And then now the final step of this process is that you put your entire income, $7,556.02, into the line of credit as an overpayment. We take our expenses out, and then after every single month, the balance of the line of credit should go down about $5,000. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to be G2 plus H2. I'm sorry, not G2, it's G10 plus H10 minus whatever the cash flow is at the time, so 5160.71. And of course, we need to calculate the balance the interest of the line of credit, which is calculated by the average daily balance. So we'll just use this average function right here, multiply it by the interest rate, and then divide by 12, and that's how we get the interest. And then the next month is just the previous month plus 1. So now we have our formula set. That's relatively easy, and then we're going to copy and paste, and you see that the balance of the credit cards is going down. It's relatively easy to figure out when we're going to pay off all the credit cards. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste, and then we see that in month 36 we have paid it all off. Okay, so you notice throughout the entirety of this process we did not make more money, right? So the income is the same, the expenses and the debts are still there, right? But we just kind of shifted them into a line of credit, and this magically turns into $5,160.71. Now let's tackle the final debt, at least for this situation, which is going to be the auto loan. So let me pull out the loan calculator right here. Give me one moment. All right, so we have this loan calculator right here, and then we see that at month 36, the current balance is $9,197.30. So we're going to go ahead and move that into the line of credit. So let's go ahead and do that here. I'm going to copy and paste values. This is going to be plus 9197.30. And then you see that in 2 months, it actually gets paid off. But the funny thing is that we actually get an extra $395 of cash flow just by simply moving that debt into the line of credit. And so let's go ahead and move that into here. And let's just update the cash flow to see if it makes a difference at all. So 5556.02. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. It made no difference at all. And then we see that in 38 months, all of our debt is completely gone. So 38 months, we are debt free. So 38 months, debt free. Actually, all right. Well, that's it. Forbidden debt payoff secrets, supposedly. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And if you're thinking that I want to do this, go ahead and click the Google form link below. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.